Thanks, everyone. We're going to call to order tonight's public hearing on docket number 2019-0057, Kalaeloa Water Company, request for approval for general rate increase and revised rules, regulations, and rates. My name is Jay Griffin. I'm the chair of the Hawaii Public Utilities Commission, joined here tonight by my fellow commissioners, Commissioner Jennifer Potter, Commissioner Leo Suncian. Thank you all for being here. Tonight's hearing will be recorded and later transcribed by a court reporter. Reminder, anyone wishing to testify this evening, please identify in the chat feature that you would like to testify, and our staff will keep a rolling tally of those members of the public wishing to testify this evening. We'll first start with the applicants, and then we'll go with the consumer advocate, but I'll go through that in a minute. But again, if you're here wishing to testify tonight as a member of the public, please type into the chat feature. We'll keep track that way, so thank you. This is a public hearing on Kalaeloa Water Company's KWC's application filed on May 24th, 2019, docket number 2019-0057, requesting the Commission's approval of a net overall revenue increase of $485,175 for its water and wastewater operations during the July 1, 2019 through July 30, 2020 test year, which represents an approximate 14.32% increase for KWC's pro forma revenue amount of $3,388,497 present rates for the test year. KWC's proposed net overall revenue increase consists of proposed revenue increases of $300,000, $309,226 for its water operations. KWC seeks approval of the following automatic rate adjustment clauses: new water power cost charge. KWC states is designed to allow it to fully recover its water power costs, pass through any increases or decreases that may occur in between rate cases, new sewer power water cost charge, new purchase wastewater treatment charge, and approval revisions to tariffs number 1 and 2. So ground rules for testifying this evening. We'll give the applicant 8 minutes to discuss the application, and the consumer advocate 5 minutes. Any members of the public will have 5 minutes to testify. Please submit comments in writing if you have so to the commission by email or regular mail. You can submit our comments by email to puc.comments@hawaii.gov. So with that, we're going to turn it over to the applicants. Thank you.
Aloha, Commissioner, Chair Griffin, Commissioner Potter, Commissioner Asuncion, Director Nishima, and the community. My name is Tony Carrasco. I'm the General Manager for Hawaii Water Service, and I'll be presenting this evening. I'm going to share my screen at this time. Unable to move to the next slide. Okay. Apologize. First time with utilizing this type of program. A little bit about Hawaii Water Service. We own and operate 6 water systems and 7 wastewater systems on 3 of our islands here in the state. Oahu, this is the rate case that we're presenting this evening. It's Kalaeloa Water, and we also do wastewater. On Maui, we have 3 systems of water and wastewater systems. And on Hawaii Island, we have 4 separate systems. We do an O&M for Keauhou for their wastewater system. A little bit about our company. We set goals for ourselves with customer service, and just a couple of goals here are 100% of our customer calls are answered within 20 seconds. We really take pride in this. We track this on a daily basis, and we communicate with the staff when those goals are not met. In addition to that, we take our calls serious. So any water, wastewater complaints, we address on site within 1 hour. We'll have a staff member. Another thing is really developing our operators and and our staff members. Something we take pride in is a majority of our operators are triple certified in distribution, wastewater treatment, and water treatment. Some of us are very high level operators in the state. There's just a list of community involvement. A lot of us do community service work, Rotary, Hawaii Rural Water Association. I'm also a member of the National Rural Water Association representing Hawaii, Hawaii Leeward Planning, Chamber of Commerce, American Legion, etc. We also work with our communities and nonprofit, to name a couple: Hawaii Island Humane Society, Friends of Waikoloa Library, and also it's been challenging through COVID, but in the past we've done several community events, including the marathons, the Willy Willy Festival, etc. United Way. A little bit about our company globally. We're in 5 states. We're regulated in California, obviously Hawaii, New Mexico, and the state of Washington. We just moved into Texas. We are the largest regulated water utility in the West, 3rd largest in the United States, and we serve over 2 million people. We have thousands of mains, miles of mains, wells, pipes, etc. That we serve. In the Kalaeloa service area, on the water side, we have 1 well. It pumps up to 2.3 million gallons per day. 2 storage tanks, about 34 miles of pipeline. On the wastewater side, we're a wastewater collection only system. We pump our supply from the community to the county where it's processed. We have 8 miles of sewer mains and 11 lift stations. The rate filing request. So since we've had ownership, this is our first rate case. As Commissioner Griffin had mentioned, we are going in for a revenue increase. On the water side, we're actually proposing a decrease of 6.9% and a sewer increase of 22.2%. These capital, what's in the rate case is a capital investments that are made since 2017. The valves and meters, we had to replace quite a few large valves. I don't recall when we toured the system. The system was a DoD Navy system, and even the Navy officer that we worked with, the system just wasn't maintained to a level that they even wanted to see. So we had quite a bit of work in front of us to bring it up to a certain level so that it's reliable. So we replaced some large valves. One of the major projects is near the water, the well site. We had an antiquated electrical panel system. It's an MCC. In addition to the gen set, it was really unsafe and unreliable, and all of that needed to be upgraded in addition to a transformer. The main replacement projects that we've completed, and I'll show you some pictures here in a minute. Some of the other big projects was on the wastewater lift stations. Some of these stations are near the ocean, near the Coast Guard air base, and if any one of those was to overflow, it would go into the ocean. It wouldn't be good for the environment. And so we really invested in some of the pumps at that location. The pumps were actually even World War II age pumps that just weren't you couldn't find parts for them, etc. So we did quite a bit of work into this area. In addition to the to the SCADA, supervisory control and data acquisition. We had to do both for the water and sewer. The military had their own system, and obviously that wasn't transferable. So we had to make sure that we brought it up to our expectations, and we went ahead and got a majority of that completed for communications. So a couple of different areas of request is one of the things is a revision to the contribution and aid of construction. It's actually adding that to the tariff. It wasn't there before for the water side. And this is consistent with a lot of other tariffs for regulated utilities. And it provides a mechanism for the developers to pay for, to upgrade the system, to enlarge the system. So that cost is some of that cost is burdened on the developers. Also a new rate design for water and wastewater, including power and wastewater treatment charges. So the existing rate design is you have water, which is a quantity charge, and then you have sewer, which is a standby charge, a quantity charge. And in our new proposed rate design, on the water side, there's going to be a meter charge, which is going to include a quantity charge, and then a power cost charge. So we can go ahead and have a line item to review how much the power cost charge, both for the water and sewer. On the sewer side, there's going to be a quantity charge and then a wastewater treatment charge. And again, this is passed through with the county. Here's a couple of pictures of our capital projects. We have so many of them, but we just thought we'd share a couple. As you can see, the top pictures are a water main line that had to be replaced. You could see the inside of the pipe, the tuberculation of the inside of the pipe, and the outside of the pipe doesn't look too bad. This is actually one of the cleaner pipes that we actually removed. We have others that are in really bad shape. A lot of it is the soil in this area. It's really sandy soil, and it's really working on the existing pipes that are in the ground. One of the other things is as soon as we took ownership, the fire marshal came in and really did a deep inspection of our system and really wanted us to work on the fire hydrants, not only to replace some of the older ones, replacing the valves, but also to identify which ones are ours versus the private side, in addition to having them thoroughly inspected on an annual basis, which is something that's done on Oahu. The bottom right photo is pump replacement for BP 72. This is near BP 71, and BP 71 is one of the main lift stations that I talked a little bit about earlier. It's three inline pumps that were very, very old. We couldn't find parts for them, and one by one we're replacing them because of the condition that they're in. Like I said, if they fail, that supply could potentially flow over, and it's nearby the Coast Guard and the ocean. So we're really trying to manage those stations and make sure that they're reliable. Mahalo, and please contact us if you have any additional questions. Customer service at hawaiiwaterservice.com, or you can contact our office at 808-883-2046. We also have a toll-free number, 877-886-7784. This concludes Hawaii Water Service presentation for Kalaeloa Water.
Thank you, Mr. Carrasco. I just want to correct for the record. I misspoke when I had the docket name or a docket number. This is docket number 2021-0005. And Mr. Carrasco gave the updated proposed revenue increases. So thank you for that, and correction for the record here. With that, let's go to Mr. Nishina. And again, any members of the public wishing to testify, please identify yourself in the chat. And with that, Mr. Nishina.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Griffin, Commissioners Potter and Ascension, and members of the community. My name is Dean Nishina, Executive Director for the Division of Consumer Advocacy in the Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs. Our division is also commonly referred to as the Consumer Advocate. The Consumer Advocate represents the interests of consumers in public utility matters by advocating for reliable utility services at reasonable customer costs. I am here this evening to listen to the community's comments regarding the application by Kalaeloa Water Company, who I'll refer to as Kalaeloa for short, for their requested approval of a general rate increase and revisions to their tariff. The revisions to the tariff as well as the overall revenue increase was summarized by Mr. Carrasco, so I won't go over that again. But I would like to kind of describe generally what the Consumer Advocate does and in a rate case process. The Consumer Advocate will take an independent look at Kalaeloa's request for a rate increase and the tariff changes and assess whether the request is reasonable. To do that, we'll conduct a detailed analysis, and as part of that analysis, we'll review the support provided by Kalaeloa. And then, depending on whether or not they provide adequate support, we will conduct further discovery, where we will seek data and information to evaluate the company's support for their requested rate increase. Then later in the proceeding, we will submit the results of our analysis and any recommendations we have with respect to whether it's too high, too low, to the commission for the commission's decision on the requested relief. Tonight, however, I really encourage the public to express their comments, opinions, and concerns to the Commission regarding Kalaeloa's proposal. The public's comments will provide better insight into the potential impact of the requested increase, both you know, as a customer, as well as whether the requested increase is reasonable. This will greatly assist the Consumer Advocate and the Commission in our work. So as we move forward, please feel free to contact the Consumer Advocate's office at any time to share your thoughts, concerns, and any questions regarding this or any other utility matter. For the purpose of the record, our mailing address is P.O. Box 541, Honolulu, Hawaii 96809. Our email is dca@dcca.hawaii.gov. Again, dca@dcca.hawaii.gov. And if you'd like to call, our general phone line is area code 808-586-2800. Again, 808-586-2800. Thank you very much for the opportunity to offer these comments.
Thank you, Mr. Nishina. Maybe you can type some of that information into the chat while people are sitting here. And again, just to read it, anyone members here in the WebEx wishing to testify this evening? Looking at, I don't think we have anyone left on the phone as well. Okay. So one more ask. Anyone here wishing to testify? Okay. Thank you for that. And with that, following the conclusion of tonight's public hearing, the Commission and the Consumer Advocate will continue review of KWC's application. Process will conclude with the Commission's issuance of a written decision. Thanks. That concludes tonight's public hearing. Thanks for attending, participant. Everyone have a good evening. Go home and see your family. So thanks again. And yeah, Mr. Nishina typed in his information here. So it's available at his website, at his office's website as well. Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.